promoting vaccination and safe COVID practices. The next few minutes shall cover a couple of interviews that were held with their experiences and opinions of the COVID-19 vaccines, which were taken in the Community Resources Fair at Joseph Nelson Community Center in Suisun City. Ready. What's your name?
My name is Kian McDougall.
Okay. Have you been vaccinated?
Yes, I have been vaccinated. In fact, I was one of the older people to get a vaccination because I'm a caregiver and also a healthcare professional.
How and why did you get the vaccination?
Well, I actually got the vaccination because I was being a caregiver for an older person. And not only that, though, I wanted to set an example for some of those people who were hesitant about getting the vaccination, particularly those who lived in multi-generational households, because at that point it was older people who were getting getting COVID and who were dying from it. And it's just so important for us to take the stigma out of the vaccination, and that's one of the reasons that I wanted to do it. But not only to protect the community and also to protect the people for whom I was providing care, but also to let people know that this pandemic is not going away, and unless everybody is involved in getting the vaccination and protecting each other, we are in for another surge.
How did you sign up to get vaccinated?
Well, actually, I'm part of I get all my care at the military, and so my primary care doctor a referral, and so I ended up going to North Bay to get it done. So that's how I was able to sign up, and she knew that I was a caregiver, and so I was able to get in on the early wave of vaccination, and I had zero problems at all.
Oh, I see. That's good to hear. And what type of vaccination did you receive? Like, for example, Moderna?
I got the Pfizer.
So, like, before you got the vaccination, were you afraid of receiving it?
No, you know what? I was hesitant because as a person of color, I've heard, even though I'm a professional and I'm a scientist, I was kind of afraid because of the stigma that's been attached to people of color being used as guinea pigs and so forth. But after some of the people whom I have a lot of respect for got the vaccine and they had no side effects, and then my son, who is doing his residency, got his, and he had no problems whatsoever, and other people that I know had no problems whatsoever, then that just really said to me, go ahead and do it.
Why is vaccination so important?
Well, vaccination is really important, and it's not just about the individual, it's about the greater good, it's about the community at large. And it sets an example for our younger people too, to care about someone outside yourself, because I cared enough about not only the people for whom I was providing care, but also for the greater good, for the community. And because at that point, the numbers in Solano County were sky high, and it was just really important for me to help drive those numbers down by getting the vaccine. I've known people who've actually died from COVID. I know people who are like long haulers, who are in denial about COVID, were having all kinds of side effects, and so forth. So it was really important for me to not spread not only the disinformation, but also to spread the disease.
Oh, I see. Thank you for the interview.
Thank you so much.
The second person I interviewed was Cheryl Cutler. She's been fully vaccinated, and she was one of the first ones to receive the vaccine. She signed up at a clinic early on due to working in a public space such as a job center. Her reason to sign up was because she was in constant contact with her clients. Cheryl received Moderna as one of the types of vaccination. Before receiving the vaccination, she wasn't really afraid because she saw it as like a super flu shot. And lastly, Cheryl states that vaccination is so important to her because she doesn't want to be the problem that passes it on to others and causing their demise. And for our last interview, I interviewed Laura Thomas. The question was, have they been vaccinated? And yes, she has been. How did they sign up for vaccination? Well, she signed up through the county website. What was Laura's reasoning to get vaccinated? Well, the various reasons that Laura signed up was due to family and her job occupation. She currently works with elderly care and she's constantly having to interact an immense amount of time due to being a volunteer coordinator for Meals on Wheels. What type of vaccination did she receive? Well, she received Moderna. Were they afraid of the vaccination? No, they believed in the science behind the creation of the vaccines. Why is the vaccination so important? The vaccination is important because based on Laura's response, it's to resume our day-to-day lives and because she didn't want to fall like the other victims who passed away from COVID. Now that the interviews are over, we'll be going over some important information on what we can do to maintain our safety. What are the side effects? Common side effects in the area of where you received the shot: pain, swelling, and redness. And for the overall area of the human body, fever, chills, tiredness, headache, soreness, and nausea. Should we be worried about side effects? No, because the purpose of having side effects portrays the fact that the immune system is functioning properly. Vaccines naturally take a while for it to work because it takes a small portion of the disease, which is then implemented into your body in order to allow the immune system to recognize the invading cells. It later creates antibodies to provide protection against the disease, and majority of the side effects occur within the first day of receiving the vaccine, and these symptoms last for about 12 hours to 24 hours. When to ask for help? Contact a healthcare provider if new symptoms arise that are not considered to be common side effects. Side effects continue to manifest for a few days, and after a day, redness around the area of the shot continues to increase. What to do once vaccinated? Despite already receiving your vaccine, you should always practice safe COVID practices in order to ensure the decrease in the spread of COVID. Even though you're immune or protected, you can still receive the disease, but it won't be as deadly, in which it can lead to anyone's demise. Coronavirus can still be passed on from one person to another despite being vaccinated, but it's a low chance, and it will eventually be passed on to an individual who hasn't been vaccinated yet. And some safe COVID practices are wearing your mask, washing your hands often, and maintaining social distancing. In order to credit the sources that were used in this research, here's the works cited page. And thank you for watching this video.